Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map The King of the Hills Extreme. My team is starting in the north and the opposing team is starting in the south. My next Twitch stream is on Thursday night. I'll leave the details in the description. In my Twitch streams, I usually go through a series of quick matches which determines my position on the ranked ladder. So if you're interested in that, check it out. My Twitch name is Zach the Reaper 1. Now this map is quite quirky. What you get is in your starting base, you get a small patch of gems, and on the map you actually start off with 0 ore, but ore grows very, very quickly. You can see it's already started growing at this point. It grows so quickly, in fact, that if you have it set on maximum ore regrowth, your base would actually become encompassed in the ore in a very short space of time. I sort of made that mistake when I first hosted a match here. I had ore regrowth on 9, and basically in a short space of time we couldn't build anymore because our bases had just been surrounded in ore, engulfed. Another unusual aspect of this map is the amount of ore your ore trucks pick up on each gathering. On a normal map, your ore trucks go out, they pick up the ore, they come back, you get 700 ore. However, on this map, when your ore trucks go out and come back, they only give you 350 ore. What that means is it's going to be much harder to sustain an economy. I'm going to need more ore trucks in order to get a good production of tanks. You can see yellow there just trying to do a bit of scouting. I haven't played this map that many times, so I'm not really sure what the best build order is. I'm just going to go for the more economic approach. So I've got into my yellow's base, I can do a bit of scouting, and you can see that yellow's going for a very aggressive approach. He's already got 2 medium tanks, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. That might force me to build some tanks a bit earlier than I would have liked. Just lay down this ore refinery. The thing is though, by doing this aggressive approach, it is going to make it very, very difficult for yellow to build a good economy because of the ore truck pickup of ore. It's going to be very hard to build up ore if you've only got a couple of ore trucks running. I'm building some infantry just to defend my base. If his tanks do come in, I can always use the X to scatter them, and they're quite effective against a low number of tanks. And I've got my medium tanks coming out right now, so it's looking quite good. He needed to attack me probably a bit earlier if he wanted to. He just looks like he's put them in a more defensive position at the moment. Right, I think I'm going to go on the offensive first before he decides to attack me. I'll just put another war factory down there to get the increased building speed. And we've got 1 tank, he's not watching, and he's realised now. We've got 3 tanks, now we've got 4 tanks. And what you can see is happening is because he built those 2 tanks earlier, I built ore trucks when he was doing that. I'm actually getting the upper hand in numbers right now. And because I've got a better economy, I can build tanks faster, and it's really paying off, this even though it's still quite early on. And we've got his ore trucks there, so we'll just get a couple of ore truck kills hopefully. Ooh, that was close. We'll go for this one that's coming up. So yeah, those early ore trucks that I built are really paying off right now. And you can see that red is coming to help his ally, and there's also yellow there as well. You can see they're probably not moving the tanks around as much as they should. When you move your tanks around, what happens is the bullets do less damage because they're trying to hit moving targets. So you're sort of like dodging them in a way. Also, you can hold Y down when you do that, it keeps them attacking buildings. Right, and that's going quite well for us. We've destroyed a couple of ore refineries there, so his ore trucks will have to travel further, and they also sometimes jam if they're all going to the same one. So that's working out well for us. I'm just keeping on building up my economy, keeping my base going. And we'll try and get this war factory. If we can get this war factory down, that'll stop his tank production. And we can see that Cyan are also in the base right now. So there's 3 of them right at the moment. Cyan's got a few tanks. Cyan is playing Soviets, so they've got heavy tanks. So their tanks are a bit stronger than my medium tanks. I'm just asking my teammates for a bit of help here because I'm just worried that if they destroy these tanks here, there's going to be a 3-on-1 attack on my base. And we can see that blue are coming up to help. they're bringing some infantry through, and hopefully they'll be following that up with some tanks, I hope. I'm just going to hold back for now because it's 3 heavy tanks against 3 medium tanks, so that's not good for me. So I'm just going to hang back a little bit. We've also got red and yellow there as well if I went on the offensive. As you can see, my economy is struggling a little bit at the moment. I'm very low on ore. I'm going to need to be building some more ore refineries. I'm going to need to build some more ore trucks just to get that ore coming in. It's very hard to sustain 2 ore factories on this map. And what I mean by sustain them is I mean keeping on them producing tanks consistently. Just putting a power plant up there, building some more ores to the left there because you can see the ores creeping into my base. And at the moment I'm going to think I'm going to move around the other side of the yellow's base, and that'll make it a bit harder for them because they're guarding one end. And yellow there, they've seen me already, they've put some tanks there, and you can see the green are coming in to attack the base at the same time. They're going for all refineries at the moment, and hopefully they'll also get the construction yard. Yellow have noticed them, red are not paying attention at the moment, so I'll kill some of their tanks while they're stationary and before they notice what green are doing. And green's going for the construction yard. Cyan have seen him. Can they get it? And yes, it looks like they can. Right, so that's damaged yellow a lot because as you can see, yellow do not have an ore refinery, so they cannot collect any more ore, and they're not going to be able to build any more tanks. Now that yellow have been destroyed, pretty much, what we're going to need to prepare for is the counter-attack. Because green have used up their tanks to attack their base, so I'm expecting a counter-attack from red or cyan. While red is stationary, I think I'll just get some tank kills there, because they're not paying attention. It's a lot very easy to kill stationary tanks. You can see red have got quite a few tanks, so if they did attack right now, we'd be in trouble. And it looks like blue have just said on the chat they're in trouble. Let's go and have a look. And oh, that's bad. Yeah. We can't really do much at this stage, unfortunately, because I just don't, well, we can't get there in time. So unfortunately, blue are out of this game. So now it's 2 events against 2 again. We needed to know a bit sooner if we were going to help. But what we can do is we know that Cyan's tanks are outside the base. So while the tanks are outside the base, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and try and get some ore truck kills and maybe go into the base if there's a clear path. So we can see there's got an ore truck there, so I'll go for the kill there. Looks like Cyan are coming back and they're bringing tanks from the base as well. And it looks like Cyan have got a lot of tanks, so I'm probably going to need to pull back here. I'm going to get a radar dome as well. If I'd had a radar dome earlier, I might have been able to see that coming. But as I say, ore is very, very precious on this map, and it's very hard to come by. And you can see that Cyan have got a lot of tanks. We can see the entrance to the base there. I'm just getting another ore truck kill. Ore truck kills are worth a bit more on this map because on a normal map, the ore truck picks up 700 ore, so it only needs to make up 3 journeys to make up the cost of it. But on this map, because the ore is worth less, it has to make up 5 or 6 journeys in order to make the money it costs in the first place. Right, and it looks like Cyan have the upper hand here. They're probably going to Green's base, possibly, and we can see they're going up there, so I'm going to help Green. Green are bringing the tanks across. It looks like they've got, they're going to get some ore trucks maybe here. Yep. Yeah, they're going for some ore trucks. That's going to allow us to destroy some of the tanks while they're doing that. Green are attacking from one side, I'm attacking from the other, and hopefully we can deal with them. Yeah, they're going down to attack me. That's just helping Green get in a good position. You can see the tanks are well positioned for defence right now. And as they're focusing on me at the bottom, Green are getting some kills at the top. We can see red are there also. That is a substantial force, and they're also destroying some of my ore trucks. So Cyan destroyed some of Green's, red have destroyed some of mine, so I'm going to probably need to focus my ore trucks more on the top part of my base. Green has quite a good force at the moment of tanks, so they're giving me a lot of help. I wouldn't have been able to survive this on my own, and I think we're going to be okay here. You can see my tanks are building back up. I do have actually quite a lot of ore in reserve because I did get that economy set up quite well, but I am going to need to keep on building ore refineries to replace the ones that have lost, well, the ore trucks that I've lost. And we're okay here for now. As I said earlier, red did have a lot of tanks in yellow's base, and they're still going for auto kills. And you can see that yellow have come from the other side. They did have some tanks left, only 3, but it's done a little bit of damage. They've destroyed one of my ore refineries, so that was a bit sneaky from them. And you can see the way they positioned the ore trucks. What they're trying to do is block my ore trucks from going to the ore in that corner. I'm okay now, so I've killed those 3 tanks. Of course, I can't replace those tanks. You can see how close my ore refinery was to going down there. Although I've got other ore refineries, the problem with getting ore refineries destroyed there is that well, I wouldn't have to travel that further. You can see there's an ore refinery right next to it, but still, it's not ideal. You want to keep your ore refineries going. If possible, you can always sell them for a bit more ore. And you can see that Cyan are building back up in the middle. The force isn't as big as before, so we should be okay with this. You can see together we've got quite a sizable force, so we should be okay here. And we're repelling them. You can see they're pulling back a little bit here. I'm just diving in because we've got more tanks than them. We outnumber them, and they're pulling back. And we're going to have to keep an eye out though on that radar dome, because red might be coming back at some point. I think I can see some red dots in fact on that radar dome. Yep, and we can see they've got another force ready to attack, so I'm going to have to pull back to my base. And we can see that yellow, again, they've actually destroyed that ore refinery that was very low earlier. I've got another ore refinery to build there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some pillboxes, because they've only got 1 tank left. So I should be fine there, and that ore refinery that I replaced there down at the bottom is going to go down, it looks like, from red's ore trucks. Now that ore refinery is not a big loss, because it's not near the ore anyway. It was a bit of a... Right, so I've got a pillbox now, so that should be able to deal with the tank. And he's pulling his it looks like he's pulling his yellow tank away. I'm going to build a pillbox to put on the other side. Yep, yellow's been doing quite a lot of, being quite aggravating. And as expected, he's doing a bit of hit and run with this tank, because it's his only tank left. So he's running away. I thought his other 3 tanks were probably his last tanks, but it seemed he'd got one back. Or he possibly sold some buildings so he could build his last one, because we can see he's only got a couple of buildings left. So probably the best thing I could do now is just go destroy those 2 buildings, because he has been quite a nuisance.
Yes, sir.
And I can also counter any attacks from red while I'm going down this way. I can probably go and attack red actually. And we can see the yellow's coming back now that he's realised his base is getting destroyed. He's just making sure he does as much damage to me to help his teammates as much as possible. And he sold that to get some infantry. And this is his last power plant, so that's yellow gone, good and gone now, so there's no coming back. No hidden tanks or hidden infantry that'll get into my base. Right, so I'm going to go down for red now and see how they're doing. Right, so they've got some tanks there. I'm just going to bring in the tanks to my base as well. So they've saw me coming. Yeah, what I was hoping to do was get some maybe auto kills. It looks as though I'm going to need to deal with these tanks first. You can see the tracking's pretty bad on this map. So I'm just getting a few kills. And it's looking good for us, it's looking very good for us. He's only got 2 left. And now I think we can go for the ore trucks now. We've got enough tanks, he's only got 1 tank left. He's bringing some from his base. But those ore truck kills on this map are worth an awful lot. I'm just keeping on building ore refineries just to build up that economy again. You can see I'm not doing too badly. I've got a bit of ore, but I'm not exactly high on ore at all. Right, so we're still fighting with red. We might try and get in the base, get a bit of visibility on what they've got, and probably go for the construction yard. So this is going to be essential. Can I get it? My tanks are on low HP, but as we can see that red aren't paying attention. I think they're paying more attention to the middle, and we're going to get the construction yard kill. That could have been very, very easily defended. My tanks were on, you can see 3 of my tanks were on red. So if he'd been paying attention there, he would have been able to destroy those tanks quite easily. But you can see he's been focusing on attacking green, who's doing quite well in the middle. You can see green's got a sizable force, and they're doing a very good job of defending. So those tanks going down now in his base, he didn't have much health left. At this point, it's starting to look very, very good for us. I think I've got Red's radar dome, so they won't be able to have as much visibility. And you can see that Red are defending their end, Cyan are defending their end. But as you can see, it looks like I've got the upper hand on number of tanks at the moment. So we're fighting Red, and they're not going to do much damage there. We're going to get a very good trade. And all of Red forces are destroyed. And you can see Green, they're going on the attack now. And while Green are fighting Cyan's tanks, I'm going to go to Cyan's base. And you can see my economy is building up. It's very, very strong at the moment. So I've got a constant production of tanks. And let's go for Cyan's base. So we've got that ore refinery that's just, you can see that Red's coming to help them. We've got that ore refinery. We're going to go for a second ore refinery. Can we get it? Yes, we can. We've got lots of tanks here. And we're going to go for the construction yard. This is going to be a very, very big kill. And we can see that Cyan have in fact built 3 war factories. I don't think they would have been able to sustain that. Because the advantage of building 3 war factories is you get a faster tank building speed. But you do have to have the economy to be able to sustain constant production. And Cyan have given up and they've surrendered, and it's only Red left. And as we know, Red do not have a construction yard, as we destroyed that earlier. And as you can see, Green have got a massive army, so it's just a matter of time, and they've surrendered. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video.